everyone, it's with Debee here. I hope you're having a great day. Today's going to be round 3 of the Scrappy potato chip quilts that we are busy working on. I know this is a mystery series and some of you just don't like that. You can wait until the end to see how it all comes together, or you can stop at any point and each of the blocks will still make you a great quilt project. Today's round will net you a size of 24 by 28 inches. So as promised, we're starting to turn it into a vertical format. If you made 4 of these blocks, you would have a generously sized lap quilt. So let's get started. To each of the sides of the previous block, we need to join together 5 potato chips, which are my 2.5 by 4.5, and we're going to take 5 each for each side and just join them end to end like this. And then we'll do the same for the other side. So let me go take care of that and I'll be right back. I have sewn the sides onto the block and I'll show you once this row is put on, and then you can see what it all looks like put together. So for the top and bottom, you're going to make 2 identical format rows. And what you're going to need is you're going to need 3 squares that are on point. 2 are going to have a light background, and then 1 is going to be dark with a light background. So that's 3 altogether. Then you're going to need 2 potato chips in the darker, again 2.5 by 4.5. These are not sewn together in sets. And then you're going to need 2 of these, and these are basically a half square triangle that's joined with another half square triangle. And I've done it 2 ways. I've done it that way, and how I was going to show you this is I've got a half square triangle here that I've already done, and then I've put a solid square down. I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to draw from point to point. This is a good way to use up some of the untrimmed larger blocks. Once that's sewn, I can flip this over like this, and then I'll have, once it's all trimmed down, then I'll have a block that looks like this. And the important part with this one, because of how it's laid out, you want to have three points that are, or 3 sides that are going to be the darker, and then 1 that's going to be the lighter. So that's how I did this one. And then how I did this one is I actually came up with a template, and I did it as a paper piece. And this is sort of what I've done. So I've drawn out a 4.5 inch square. I've put my 1/4 inch as my seam allowance. And then from corner to corner here, I have, this is an imaginary line here, but I did draw it in the final one, and then one like this. So with the foundation paper piece, you're all working with the right side facing up on the paper. If you want a template for this, I can certainly put it on my website as a free PDF. And then for the paper pieced version of these blocks, I also did the same thing. So I found the halfway point on a 4.5 inch square that I drew, and then I just drew a line from each, and I placed the center first, and then I did the flip on each of the corners. You can also do the traditional way where you take a square that's 3.25 inches, and then you have other triangles and you've joined them and flipped them over. So it would be like this, and then over, and then you trim them down. I like to do whatever's going to be the fastest. I found by doing the foundation paper piecing, that worked the best for me, and it gave me a nice scrappy look. Failing that, you can also use some flying geese and sew them together like this in the center, which I've done on one of the versions. Or if you imagine these were half square triangles, you could do that as well, and then just twist them around depending on whether you wanted the dark or the light in the center. So I'm showing you 3 different ways of producing this one block. Very easy to do. And as I say, you always do what works the best for you and not what other people seem to do. So figure it out, try it out. Don't be afraid to try something new because you might just like the technique better than how you're already doing it. Okay, so now putting that aside, I'm going to show you how you put these together. These are all 4.5 inches unfinished, so there'll be a 4-inch block once they're done. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the darker centered on point block and we're going to join a potato chip on the side here, and we'll do the same thing on the other one, but we'll do it on the other side. So let me go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. With these two units being made, these parts with the potato chips are going to eventually be facing on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're now going to take one of these, what do you call these house square triangles that have been done twice? I guess I should look up the name and call them by their proper name. If you could leave a comment and let me know, I'd certainly appreciate it, because I like to make up block names as I go along, and that's not very helpful, is it? So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these on the darker side and join it to the potato chip. So in essence, you're going to have one that is like this, and this is going to be the left-hand side. And then you're going to have the other one, and you're going to piece it here with a 1/4 inch seam, and this is going to be the other side. And then once those are done, we're going to add this in the center, and that will complete the row. So this is how it's going to look. And we're going to be making 2 of those. So I will go ahead and do that, and then I'll join you back here. I figured I would show you this as a teaching opportunity. When you don't square something up properly, it ends up looking a little bit wonky. So if you laid a ruler along the points here, and this isn't pressed, so this is just a quick visual, you'll see that this is way up here. So when I went to trim this, I didn't make sure that this crosshair here was in the exact bullseye center of my ruler. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a white, there's kind of a crosshair there. So it should have been like this. And you can see that I'm out by a 1/4 inch. Honestly, when it's all said and done and sewn together, you probably are not going to notice it, but it's going to bother me. So I did make a new square, and I made sure that this is lined up with the bullseye in both directions. So there, and then in there. So I'm going to pull out my seam ripper, take this out, and replace it with this block, and then I'll show you what we do next. I'm glad I made that change, so I have it sewn back in. So if I line my ruler up, then the points are all visually in alignment with each other. One of the things I do is when I do foundation paper piecing, if I know I'm going to be sewing in an area where I'm not going to hit the paper, I leave the paper in just for stability. And I did, on some of them, I did do a stitch around the outside to help with distortion, and some of them I didn't. So now I need to add this to the bottom of the block, and then I'll show you how it all turned out. So here it is, the dark version all done. And this will be 24.5 by 28.5 unfinished. If you just wait a second, I'll show you the lighter version. Hold on and let me trade them out. And here's version B, which I'm calling the lighter version because it started with the lighter square in the center. Still wondering if you like version A, the darker one, better. I'm just going to put them side by side, and then I'll come right back and wrap this up. So here they are together. I think if you made 2 of each block and then join them with some sashing, it'd make a nice like 50 by 60 junior lap size quilt. Let me know in your comments what you think about this, whether you're still favoring the version A, which is on the left hand side, or the lighter one, which is on the right. So this, as I said, is round 3. You can leave it here and call it done, or you can continue on, which will be round 4. And all I can tell you is you'll be using a lot of potato chips in the next round. So until next time, sew safely and sew with Debee. Have a great day and bye for now.